Hello and welcome to today's talk. This is all about cardboard and its use in the garden and what you're doing that may cause you a problem or may not. I'm not telling you what to do, I'm just giving you the information so that you can decide in the future whether it's something you want to get involved with. Okay, so how we use cardboard in a no-dig system is basically a starting structure that will deny light to beds on weed covered surfaces. I know this hasn't got many weeds, so there really isn't need of cardboard on this particular bed, but let's pretend it's got weeds. Very good against annuals, not so good against more persistent weeds. And the idea is it produces a substance that will deny light to the weeds, suffocating them and denying them light. The compost on top does exactly the same job, and it's a nice depth of compost. This is potato compost, so it shouldn't have many weed seeds in, and when the cardboard rots away, the compost takes over and provides a material that the weed seed should not exist in, and in this particular case, being potato compost, it won't exist in. That's roughly the depth you should have, and we don't really need it. On this bed there's enough organic matter on top of the soil already that we don't need to have that depth of cardboard to take the weeds away, and we also don't need such a depth of compost because the bed's fertility is quite high already. So basically you can spread out the compost a little bit further to a little bit less depth, and that would do the job quite nicely indeed. This particular application of compost will be in advance of field beans being planted over winter, which will provide a lot more nutrients for the following year's crops. So the problems come with this shiny stuff and the stuff with non-soy based inks on it from other countries that haven't got such strict rules as we have on food safe stuff. The councils are obligated to recycle all cardboard, so basically this and the shiny stuff all gets put into a big vat and shredded down into chunks that actually can be recycled. Unfortunately, this film coating that's on the shiny boxes, these, will contain chemicals, and they all get mixed into this vat of recycled cardboard. To break this material down, more chemicals are added, not too harsh chemicals, but harsh enough to break this down so it all becomes one big mix of slurry for the cardboard, which will also include the cardboard boxes that we use and are fine-ish. This slurry all gets mixed in with some natural virgin fibres to produce recycled cardboard that should have a recycled symbol on. With that recycled symbol means that you are getting a percentage of this stuff in the mix. This stuff contains forever chemicals, and there's your real danger. PFAS. This material will go down into your soil and never be removed. So if you're an organic gardener like I am, why would I use it? You're just adding chemicals that you don't want into your soil. The Amazon boxes are fine. Amazon confirmed a long time ago that you should remove the tape because that is not recyclable, and it's starch based. The fibres that bond the actual cardboard together are starch based. The inks that are on modern packaging that you tend to get in the UK that's based on these are soy based dyes rather than, you always tell them because they're very subdued looking. You know, like your typical Domino's pizza box. It's basically harmless. It's all food safe. It's soy-based inks, starch-based glues, and it should be fine. You can remove the tapes if you wanted to. It will help, obviously. It'll help enormously if you can actually choose large panels of cardboard. Now then, PFAs in cardboard have come to my attention because when I seen a scientific study, and there's many that are available now, just search on PFA in chickens. Because basically chickens peck at everything and they consume what they peck at. In this particular case it's compost bedding, which is absolutely excellent, whereas in most commercial circumstances they'll use wood shavings, and they tried using shredded cardboard as well, and the shredded cardboard be picked up and eaten along with the food, so therefore it would show up on both their bodies at the end and the eggs as they went through their lives. I'll come back to that table in just 1 second, but just to say, chickens are the perfect example for this material. If you look at the top section and the column on the right hand side, that's basically what I want you to look at, and compare that against the green area below, you can basically see that the shredded cardboard gave 3 or 4 times the amount of PFAs in the column on the right hand side than just the control material, and it can only have come from their bedding. This is quite an alarming development as far as I'm concerned, because it shows how much the cardboard is. I haven't gone about the PCBs because that's a banned substance now, and that's even more alarming, but I'll confuse everything if I go on about that section. So let's just concentrate on the PFAs. So this was a unique study that has been duplicated many times now and done in scientific rigmarole to make sure there is no contamination of evidence. So in conclusion, there's very little materials that will take the place of cardboard as a mulch underneath your compost to actually work on a garden that disappears and provides no visible lasting effects. I know the PFAs are there, that's your decision, but I have used this. I've used it quite happily on gardens that started off, and I suggest that on a one-off application for the entire gardening experience, I suggest that is not a huge problem. I certainly won't be using it in compost to make more compost, because you can shred this up and it's a good medium, because that is just adding chemicals to a wonderful mixture of material, and these chemicals will never go away, so it will further infect your soil. So if it was me as an organic gardener, no way would this get used in any material that I apply to the garden after I've started off a plot. It's really hard to get hold of cardboard that is just using virgin fibres. Very expensive. You can only buy it on a big roll, and it's not really carrying the recycle method forward, because we want to reuse these. This going back into the recycle is not really a problem if it's used for boxes. That's not really a problem. It's when you use it on your garden as a mulch underneath compost, that's when the forever chemicals get released. Thanks a lot for watching the video, guys. I hope it's been of some use to you. See you later.